What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another video. The Dallas Cowboys are back from their bye week, and they're taking on the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into this video.
Down the field, Lamb, 10, 5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.
Like I said, the Dallas Cowboys coming off their bye week here. They are currently sitting at 6-2, and the Green Bay Packers, 5 in a row. That's how many games that they have dropped, and they currently sit at 3-6. And so Cowboys are going to Lambeau this Sunday. This is weirdly enough, and I talked about this in my other videos here, but we're kind of like on this NFC North roadmap here, this journey here, because we played the Lions, we played the Bears, now we're going to play the Packers, and the next week we're going to play the Vikings. And something I said on my Twitter, which, by the way, you should be following me on Twitter, is they kind of ramped themselves up in difficulty. And the Lions being at the bottom, the Cowboys took care of them. The Bears gave a little bit of difficulty because they were the first team to score over 20 points against the Cowboys this season, but the Cowboys were still able to beat them 49-29. Now you have the Green Bay Packers, because despite this, I'm just going to say the elephant in the room, I don't think this is going to be as easy of a game as a lot of people think it's going to be. You can't just look at the Green Bay Packers and say, oh, you know, they've lost 5 games in a row. They're struggling. I'm going to give you reasons why not to think that, but just right off the bat here, this is not going to be an easy game for the Cowboys, especially going in the road. I know there's a lot of emotional ramifications with this game, with Mike McCarthy returning back to Lambeau Field for the first time since being fired. You know, you have that in the mix. But I mean, the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to go into their stats here in a little bit, we cannot go into this game expecting a win, expecting this to be easy. Now, are the Cowboys the better team? Well, absolutely they are, but this is going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for both these teams. But like I said, the Cowboys are 6-2. They're coming off of a really important bye week that's going to help them get healthy. And I think it did get them healthy because, you know, hopefully Ezekiel Elliott's going to be playing here this coming week. I personally think he probably shouldn't. I think it's cool if he sits. I think I'm cool riding Tony Pollard another week there. But let's jump on into this game here, because the first thing I want to jump into and take a look at here is Aaron Rodgers. Let's look at this matchup here, because the Cowboys are 4-1. At home, they're 2-1 on the road, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. And so when we take that into account here, now we need to talk about this defense against Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is 5-3 in his career against the Dallas Cowboys, but he's playing a better defense. Now, what you're going to hear out there a lot this week, or going into this weekend here, is that the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers struggled against the Detroit Lions, easily one of the worst defenses in the league. You have the Cowboys being a better defense. It's just going to blow up, and that Cowboys are going to dominate the Green Bay Packers. I don't think so. I think you're going to expect a better game from Aaron Rodgers here than you've seen in the past few weeks. And you're just going to see that, and not just because, you know, there's this mojo out there with Aaron Rodgers and the Dallas Cowboys and how he always brings his best performance. I think that comes into it. I think that is part of it. But the Packers are just meant to bounce back in some kind of way. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they're just meant to bounce back in some kind of way. And they're going to look tough here. They're at home. They're fighting for their season. You lose this game, you drop down to 3-7. And so I expect Aaron Rodgers, like I said, to play better than he did last week, than he has been during this whole 5-game winning streak. I mean, you look at the stats for Aaron Rodgers, it's not MVP-esque as it was last year, but over 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a lot of interceptions, more than what we're used to with Aaron Rodgers, but that's just because he doesn't have the team that he used to. And I think that's the most important thing going into this game that you have to realize is Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has not played a team like the one he's going to see on Sunday. And that's big. That's really big saying that, because the two teams that come into your mind when you talk about the Cowboys playing Aaron Rodgers is the 2014 team with the infamous Dez catch, and then the 2016 team where the Dallas Cowboys were 13-3 and Aaron Rodgers came to AT&T Stadium and beat him in the divisional round. It's fair to say that I don't believe Aaron Rodgers has played a Dallas Cowboys team like he's going to see on Sunday. Out of those 3 teams, those 2 and this one included, this one is the better defense. And out of those 2, granted, Tony Romo played a great game back in 2014 at Lambeau. I think he only missed 3 passes, but he was near perfect in that game. But Dak Prescott is a little bit wiser. He's a little bit smarter with the ball. And I think you're going to see that here, a different kind of Dak Prescott, being more methodical, being smarter with the ball, more lethal in that sense of being smart with the way he throws the ball and the way he attacks the defense. And so my other thing is, who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to? I can't tell you who he's going to. Is it going to be Lazard? Is it going to be Tanyan? There's no weapons on his side. And as good as Aaron Rodgers is, I don't care if he's 1-7, 1-8, whatever it may be, he's still Aaron Rodgers, and he has the capabilities of being the great quarterback that he is, in my opinion. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man. I really like him as a quarterback. But I just don't see where their strength, which is passing, where they're going to attack the Dallas Cowboys with that passing game. They're going to get a couple of touchdowns, no doubt about it. I think they're going to find their way into a couple of scores here, but enough to win the game. It's very similar to the Chicago Bears game, because the Bears did exactly what they were supposed to do successfully. But, I mean, they controlled time of possession. They controlled the offensive line. They ran the ball as much as they wanted to, but they still lost 49-29. And I think it's a similar situation that you have here going into this game on Sunday, where I think the Packers are going to get a lot of the looks that they want offensively. And Aaron Rodgers isn't necessarily going to have a bad game. I don't see him throwing 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions. But I just don't see where the offensive firepower is going to come from. Now we jump to the other side. Let's look at these statistics here. This is what's striking, because when it comes to statistics, the Green Bay Packers are near top 10 in every single category I'm going to read off to you. They're number 10 in offense. They're number 10 in defense. They're number 10 in passing. They're a strong passing team. And they're number 11 in rushing in the NFL. But at the end of the day, and I quoted this before, you are what your record says you are. And the Green Bay Packers are dysfunctional. They're a bad football team. That's why their record is what it is, and that's why they're struggling 3-6. And they got to win some games if they want to be in contention for the playoffs, because the Minnesota Vikings are running off with it with a 7-1 record. But you look at those stats, and that's why I say you got to be careful going into this game. You got to be super careful. Just like that. You got to be super careful going into this game because although their record is 3-6, the stats say that they're a pretty good team on paper. And I'm not really into feeling a game or stirring a certain way. I'm looking at the statistics, and just be on your toes about what the Green Bay Packers can do. And I personally don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the final quarter. But the Cowboys being the better team, they are going to win. And so will they be able to establish their running game? That's probably the biggest thing that the Green Bay Packers can do. Well, here's the biggest question, is will they remain patient enough to allow that running game to get them to where they need to go? Because, like I said, the Green Bay Packers are a pass-heavy team, and when you don't see the run working in the first or the second quarter, a team like the Dallas Cowboys, we know well enough that they're going to stick with that running game. But with the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur, they may just tend to start throwing a little bit more, and they get outside of that rhythm. And that's where I think you might see some of those turnovers I'm going to predict here for the defense. So my prediction here with the defense against Aaron Rodgers come Sunday is I think we get 4 sacks. I think we get to Aaron Rodgers. I think we get them out of their game plan. I think they're going to try to run the ball, but they're just not going to be patient enough to stay with it. They're going to want results quick, and they're going to start throwing the ball. And that's when it's all going to crumble down. And I think that's where we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. So 4 sacks. I'll go out there and say I think 2 goes to Dorrance Armstrong, and I think 1 for Micah. I think 1 gets 1 sack for Micah Parsons, and I'll just 1 for someone else, maybe like a safety, maybe like Leighton Vander Esch. I'd love to see that. But I also think the Dallas Cowboys get 1 interception. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a pick party. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I think we're going to get an interception off of Aaron Rodgers. I'm expecting someone like Deron Bland or Malik Hooker. No one like Trayvon Diggs or anything like that, but Malik Hooker or Deron Bland might get the interception for Sunday. But let's talk about something very important. Obviously, Dak Prescott and the offense. Because you look at the swap, you look at the other side of this coin. The Dallas Cowboys are 27th in offense. They're 6th in defense. They're 27th in passing. They're 15th in rushing. The way you win this game is by that running formula. I do not want to see Dak Prescott out there throwing it 40 times. I know he's capable of it. I know we can definitely do it. But in the cold weather that you will see out there in Wisconsin and Green Bay at Lambeau Field, you got to win this game in the trenches. You got to win it with tough football. And that means running the ball through that offensive line. I think that we're going to run it pretty successfully. And I think we're going to see that run attack again with Zeke and Tony Pollard. And that's really going to open up the game if we can just stick to that. I know they got a strong defense right there. But this game is really going to come down to Dak Prescott again, because I think their defense is really going to match up well with our offense. I think their defense is going to limit our running game a little bit, and it's going to come down a few plays to Dak Prescott. But I do expect him to step into the moment again, kind of like how I talked about how we did against the Chicago Bears. He's going to need to make some significant throws on third down, and that's a big key that you want to look at. That's a big stat you want to take a look at in this game. Dallas Cowboys were incredible, near perfect when it came to third down against the Chicago Bears. They got to be that. If we're struggling from third down in that first half, it's going to be a long day. But if we can get over 50%, 75%, we're going to have a really good day with the offense and get exactly what we need to. But he's going to make a lot of significant throws on third down, and I think he needs to be effective in the red zone. We're going to have some long sustaining drives. Dak Prescott needs to be successful in the red zone and get this ball and this offense across that goal line for a touchdown. Field goals is not going to be our friend come Sunday. We got to win with touchdowns. We got to get those 7 points and put them up, and we cannot settle for field goals because that's going to leave the door open for someone like Aaron Rodgers in the offense. So here's my prediction. I think Dak Prescott's going to throw a touchdown. I think he's going to go for one rushing touchdown. I think he's in the goal line situation. I think he's going to get in. He's going to run one in. And I think he throws an interception. I think that's what's going to make this game close here. I think he's going to throw the ball maybe like in the second half. It's going to make this game a little bit closer. But I do think Ezekiel Elliott's going to get a touchdown here being back from his injury. I think it's going to be in the red zone. It's going to be on the goal line. It's going to be one of those situations where you got the 1 yard line. He's going to jump over, get the touchdown. But those are my predictions for the offense. But now let's go ahead and talk about it. We talked about all about this, all about the Cowboys and the Packers and everything like that. Let's go ahead and talk about my prediction for the Cowboys and Packers. Like I said, it's going to be a close game, and the Cowboys should win. They are the better team, no doubt about it. And I do think they win. I'd have the Dallas Cowboys advancing to 7-2 and the Green Bay Packers dropping to 3-7. I have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field 27-21. Close game, but they pull it out and they continue their winning streak. Be sure to comment down below your score prediction and what you think are going to be the hot moments of this ball game here. And let's go ahead and take a trip down memory lane here about what your favorite Cowboys-Packers moment is. I got to take a trip back down to 2007. The Dallas Cowboys are the number one team in the NFC, and they have the Green Bay Packers coming in with Brett Favre. And everyone was talking about this game. Everyone thought it was going to be the NFC Championship game, and it probably should have been, but the New York Giants and their defense had something else to say about that. But it was a really exciting game. It was on Saturday Night Football, and the Cowboys found themselves going 37-27, and they won the game. Most significant about that game, however, is Brett Favre actually took a hit right into his elbow, and he was out for the rest of the game. And believe it or not, this young kid comes into the game by the name of Aaron Rodgers, and although the Cowboys won that game, it really gave us a glimpse into the future of Aaron Rodgers and how, I'll say it, unbiased and realistically, how he has owned the Dallas Cowboys ever since. But that's going to change come Sunday. But like I said, guys, we should win this game. You look at the comparisons from last year to this year. Last year with the Dallas Cowboys, we went into the bye week, and I got to look past my screen here. So going into the bye week, we were 5-1. And then after we dropped 4 games. One was against the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders on Thanksgiving, and we lost to the Cardinals. You look at the schedule here with, 9 games remaining. There's some tough games in there. I'm looking at the Packers game is going to be a tough game. The Vikings game is going to be a big one. The Giants is going to be a big one. The Eagles, the Titans. So, it's going to be exciting to see this football team play because we're really going to find out what kind of team that they are. They've already got some good wins under their belt, beating the Los Angeles Rams, beating the Giants, the Bengals. But we got to keep this momentum going because now it's a brand new season. And I will say this. I really wanted to specifically say this. I think Dak Prescott, although he missed the majority of that first half of the season, I think he's going to have a terrific second half of the season in the NFL. And I just want everyone who has been having great energy for Jalen Hurts for the first half of the season. Everyone's talking about MVP for Jalen Hurts. And rightfully so. He's played incredible, has led his team to a great start. But when Dak Prescott goes off here in the second half, you watch and see. I want you to keep that same energy that you did have for Jalen Hurts in the first half of the season for what Dak Prescott is going to do here in the second half of the season. Because I think Dak Prescott's going to go off. He's not getting injured anytime soon. This man is back, and he's going to lead this team to the playoffs because he is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Be sure to like and subscribe. I will see you guys after the game on Sunday. Go Cowboys.
Looking down the field, Lamb, 10, 5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.